about that. I think I forgot to change the settings for my computer or something like that, but whatever. Welcome to our video where we will explain about discontinuities and their types and some examples of how to recognize them, etc. First of all, we need to know what are discontinuities. A discontinuity is a point in which a mathematical object is discontinuous. This is mostly represented as a shaft or a rope in a graph. Discontinuities. There are two types of discontinuities. There are the removable and non-removable. To be more specific, the removable is called a hole and the non-removable are called jump, infinite, or endpoint. Okay, now we're going to talk about holes. Holes. To identify the holes, we need to see that during the graph we're doing a pretty perfect linear graph and suddenly there's an open circle in the middle. This means that there's a hole there. Also means that there's no any value, but the limit still exists. As we can see here in the example, we have a graph going from the left, going down through -4 on x, then going through -6 on y, and then here on x3 there's a hole, and also on axis. This way we can recognize the holes. Jump. This type of discontinuity happens when x approaches from both sides, but the limits have different values which make the graph jump from one point to another. What do I mean by that? Like in here, in this example, we're going straight, then suddenly we need to jump up and then continue. Or like in here, we're going down, then stop, and suddenly need to go up. Or in this example also, we're going here through this graph, and then suddenly here we need to stop on x1 and then jump upwards up to j3 and continue. Infinite. This type of discontinuity is called infinite. It happens when the graph limits are infinite. It is either positive or negative. What I mean by that? Like here, we're doing the graph and it is not going to touch the a value, so it's always going up without touching. Like here, down, then up and without stopping. Here, he's coming up from infinite, going back to infinite. Endpoint. This type of graph only occurs when the graph comes from one side and ends up at the origin. This means that the limit of both sides doesn't exist, since only one side goes infinity. Like here, it starts at the origin and going to infinity, or going from infinity and going to the origin. Like in the example, we're coming from negative infinite at the origin, or it can be backwards, from the origin to negative infinite. And that will be the basics you need to know to recognize the discontinuities. Thanks for watching.